Good morning. Welcome to JP's morning brief for June 25th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. Man, it's the 25th. So we're 9 days away from July 4th. Wow. And yesterday, well, we'll get to it in a little bit, but yesterday kicked off the Great American State Fair in D.C. yesterday. It runs officially from the day all the way through July 10th. So if you're going to D.C., that's something to experience. One of my daughters is going there next week. Her husband graduates from one of his leadership schools in the Army, and he's at Fort Eustis right now. So it's just right up the road, and they're going to go up there for I believe 5 days or something like that. All right, so welcome to JP's morning brief. Before we get started, oh, hold on just a second. Oh, what in the world? Okay, whatever. We'll get that in just a second because I got it printed out. Get paper. All right. So, welcome to the show. Also, don't forget to click the follow button. To get to the follow button right beside where it says join, you'll see a bell. Click on that bell. Scroll down. Click the follow button. All right. That's how you follow the podcast, and then give me a thumbs up, like for the show, and then get in there and chat with me on here. I do it every day. I got friends that come in there and say hello. That's great. That's an awesome thing to see. Okay, but so hold on. It's a one-man band. Yep, there. And then hold it. We'll just get this knocked out of the way. I don't have to worry about it toward the end. The good old raid to Vince in a half hour. There we go. All right. So the armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, uploading your system, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper's Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text at 254-560-2023. All right, or you can visit them at www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. I am back. All right, so Iran update. Before we get to the Iran update, I want to just bring something to your mind. If you're just waking up this morning and you haven't turned on the news yet, there was, I'll briefly cover this because I'll go over more of it during the JPA report. There was two, not one, but two earthquakes near Caracas, Venezuela last night. So far, the number of dead are 167 people. But as you know, in earthquakes, early numbers don't tell you the bad part. You have like up to 48 hours to find people buried before you're looking for miracles at that point. Okay, so the earthquakes were they were in the sevens. See, I just printed this off. I didn't really get a chance to look at it too much. I mean, that was quick. It was a 7.2 earthquake and then a 7.5 earthquake. 6:04 p.m. Eastern time. That was 5 o'clock last night. Man, and we're just not hearing about it this morning? Wow. Okay. And we were watching the news right now. That's unbelievable. A 7.2 and a 7.5. And Northern California had like a 5.6. And then Northern Japan had an earthquake also. But this is extremely volatile right now. The people there really need your prayers and support. So, Sec State, Marco Rubio was already on there this morning talking about this. Unbelievable carnage. All right, man. Let's just hope there's not a lot of deaths in this. This country has come a long ways in the last few months, ever since Maduro was taken out. You got to give them a fighting chance, man. All right. So with that in the Iran update. The Iran update, NATO Secretary General fully defended President Trump yesterday and all the actions he's taken for building up the alliance and the actions he's taken toward Iran. Lebanon, their president personally called the vice president and the Secretary of State, that would be Marco Rubio, to thank them for the attention they paid toward his country. That's awesome. It's an awesome gesture. A SEC Energy, that would be Chris Wright, says 20 million barrels of oil has passed through the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours. And this morning I heard an update. They said 69 oil vessels passed through the strait yesterday. And that's a record since March 2nd. Iran declares the Oman route completely dangerous and will take action against anyone that diverts away from the approved Iranian routes. Now, I'm telling you, that was from the IRGC. Those are the rogue people. I really think something needs to be done about the military leadership in Iran. Not my call, but they're the people that are making things really horrible for people and dangerous. Iran's inflation rate, 100%. And then per Trump, any tolls by Iran is unacceptable. In reference to you must go by our route. Yeah, okay. The Dow Jones yesterday closed at 51,848.90, and that was up 182.06 points. Let me check something for you out real quick. Okay, let me see. Yep. All right. So I saw this morning when I got up and I was doing all of our build up for the show that the futures for the stock market were up, and it was like all the way up to 52,300. So look for a record breaking day in the stock market today, right? West Texas Intermediate was at $69.17 a barrel, and Brent crude oil was at $72.35 a barrel. The president is right. With these prices on oil, the gas prices should be plummeting right now. So we shall see. Let's put this over here. What are we doing? We're at 640. We're doing good. I hope everyone's having a decent morning. All right. So, President, yesterday, after all the hard work between the House and the Senate to get the bipartisan housing bill passed and ready for signature, and then the president went and said, you know what? I'm not satisfied. I'm not signing it until I have the Save America Act. It's his right. He went the safe route, though, because both bills The bill that went to the president, they were passed by both houses of Congress. They're veto proof. So he can veto it, it'll be overridden. All right. And then also, he didn't have to sign the bill because in 10 days, it automatically becomes law. It's a gesture to let the American people know that the Save America Act is very, very important to our president and to the a vast majority of the American public that they want this passed. And he's bringing attention to it because these knuckleheads in the press won't report stuff, right? This is their way of learning. Well, look at that. There's more to it than this. And then the politicians are the same in the same boat because they don't want to hear from their constituents where you should have voted. You should have voted for this act, right? Because the votes are there, regardless if they like it or not. Because I'm sure they don't want to go on record and say, "Well, I didn't vote for it." So the president on Wednesday canceled the signing ceremony of the bipartisan housing bill, saying he won't sign the measure until the Senate passes the Election Integrity and Voter Security Bill known as the Save America Act. Today's housing news conference and signing is hereby canceled until such a time as we pass the desperately needed Save America Act, which I consider to be national security. Trump has asked Senate Majority Leader John Thune to abolish the filibuster to pass the SAVE Act, and whose formal title is the Safeguard America Voter Eligibility Act. But Thune has so far refused to do so. His days are numbered as a Senate Majority Leader. The housing bill passed with veto-proof majorities, though if Trump doesn't sign the legislation within 10 days, the bill could get hit with a pocket veto if Congress adjourns. That's not going to happen. Congress never adjourns because this goes back decades. Okay, they learned that. Because if Congress adjourns and out of session, then that means the president can make out of session cabinet appointments. All right. So the next thing, before we run out of time, closed door session. Did y'all hear about the big rough up in the Senate GOP luncheon yesterday? There was a big one, right? And it was particular between Bill Cassidy and the president. And I guess Bill Cassidy's still hurt that he's going to be unemployed come January. But you know what? Sucks being. You know what? He's a doctor. Let him go back into practice, right? An explosive meeting at the Senate turned into a win for President Trump. I didn't get to that part. And his administration as key Republicans flipped on another bid to handcuff the administration's authorities in Iran. In its final act before leaving Washington, D.C. for a 2-week break, another vacation, right? The Senate rejected. And how many of them people will be going to 4th of July events? Or are they going to be hunkering down in their bunkers, their houses, away from the public eye? All right. So, man, get me on a tangent. The Senate rejected Democrats' attempt to rein in Trump's war powers in Iran as talks between Iran and U.S. to hammer out a long-term peace deal. It was the same war powers resolution from Tim Kaine that passed over a month ago and stunned Republicans in the upper chamber. The what seemed to be predetermined outcome just hours after Trump and Bill Cassidy sparred over the Iran war, that the administration's lack of forthcomingness with lawmakers during a closed-door meeting to discuss the president's marquee voter ID and citizenship verification legislation turned into a surprise late-night win. Trump argued to the GOP that the previous war powers resolution, which passed on Tuesday, thanks in part to a pair of Republicans being absent, hurt the administration's negotiating power with the Iranians. So they redid the vote when David McCormick was back there, right? Meetings with key holdouts at the White House and with key holdouts helped change their minds and provided the administration with a win as they work toward a deal beyond the 60-day window. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. All right. So, with all that going about, Save America Act, Save America Act, Save America Act. Hey, we can't do it. We can't do it. We don't have the votes. We can't get past filibuster. Speaker Johnson comes to the rescue. Yes, Michael Johnson came up with an idea. Reconciliation 3.0 to save to pass the Save America Act. I read this. This is a pretty good idea, right? So what he wants to do is using reconciliation process to pass the Save Act. So what he wants to do, Johnson made the remarks after Trump canceled a signing ceremony for a housing bill yesterday. So you have to put it on a reconciliation bill. This is quote. We believe that if you create a grant program that ties it to reconciling the budget, you allow blue states, if they come to their senses and want to avail themselves of election integrity proposals and ideas and policies, they can draw down from a federal fund and use those funds. We're willing to invest heavily in that, and House Republicans will put together a reconciliation bill, Reconciliation 3.0, that will have it. That sounds like a really good deal. That is a really good idea. And you can include defense spending in it if you need to, because they need $67 billion. Yeah, so in the reconciliation bill, put the SAVE Act in there and put a grant process, a grant scenario in there where states can draw from the fund to help pay for the changes to their voting system. Awesome idea. Will it happen? Don't count your last bottom dollar. The Senate won't do it, right? They're upset and they're afraid their pride will get hurt. All right. Next, what are we looking at? 648. We're doing good. President yesterday, uh, he talked about socialism and communists, and because Tuesday's election results, right? Many communists running in badly failing blue states. The votes seem to have them doing quite well against each other. The bad news is that history has conclusively shown that downtrodden states that they will soon be running only to get worse. Man, I can't read this morning. The three candidates that were endorsed by Zamdani be Landers, Valdez, and Chevrolet. All three, and now those three candidates, just remember, okay, it ain't like Chicken Little. The sky is falling, the sky is falling. All three of them are in very safe Democrat seats. They did not try to go against Republicans or flip seats, purples. They went after strong Democrat-held seats. Two of those seats were incumbents. All right, they shouldn't have lost, but that's all right. Miranda Devine on TV this morning, she said people need to go to New York, that live in New York, all need to register as Democrats to make sure that DSAs don't get past the Democrat process, right? Democrat primary. That's stupid. We need Republicans to vote for Republicans. Stop this nonsense about going over to the other party to vote out. No, that's why in Texas we're doing closed primaries to get that scenario out of the way. All right. Next, we're about to the one where I really want to talk about. So, Um, the House of Representatives yesterday, in their House Administration Committee, voted to advance a bill to the full House that would ban lawmakers from getting on political betting on political events through prediction markets. You see them on what do you call it? On Rumble as one of their ad reads we could read. Uh, you see them on TV, all these betting places, right? You can make predictions and stuff on how you want stuff. There was a U.S. Army soldier. They got a whole world of trouble because he made prediction bets about Venezuela, but he was involved with the mission. He knew what was going on, and he floated the results. He made a whole boatload of money. That's how he got caught. Um, should have probably used someone else to make the bet, but that's a whole different story. The legislation on betting markets gaining increasing prominence in the U.S. with platforms like Kalshi and Polymarket. Now you recognize those names, right? Uh, Offering betting odds on elections, the passage of legislation, developments in foreign policy, and other issues. Republicans on the panels backed the bill in a party line vote. A ban, the ban would also apply to spouses of lawmakers and their children. The lawmakers elect to serve the American people, not to enrich themselves by wagering on outcomes from decisions they make. That was from Brian Steele, Republican from Wisconsin. We have the real opportunity to restore trust in Congress by taking necessary steps to eliminate even the appearance of impropriety. How about passing term limits, right? And plus, these companies shouldn't even exist because they influence the actions of the lawmakers. All they have to do is look at the current betting odds. They don't have to involve themselves with it. They just look at the current voting odds and you know what? Let's go this route because the majority of people want it done like that. It's a farce. All right. Might as well go play blackjack. You have more of a chance. Uh, this morning at 10 o'clock Eastern, that's 9 o'clock Central, that's when I'm going off the air, uh, um, is when the Supreme Court is probably going to release a whole mess of decisions today, right? Because there's like 12 or 17, I think there's 12 decisions left to be released. Today is supposed to be the last day. They say they may extend that to Tuesday, okay? Because that's the last day of the month. So, so there's going to be announcements today, opinions released today. They're going to go in a conference afterward, and then on Monday they're going to release after I go off the air, they're going to release the results of the conference meeting. These are when they make a decision. They're going to take up this case. They won't take up this case. Emergency stays and stuff like that, right? And then maybe if there's anything left on Tuesday, they'll do the remainder of the opinions unless they do them all today. All right. We're at 6:54. I'm not going to get through the rest of this. All right. So so the Supreme Court is going to release opinions this morning at 9 a.m. Central. Right. So some of the stuff that was released on Tuesday, this stuff is complicated. So there was a 6-3, another 6-3. Here's one of unanimous. The unanimous one was that proper baseline for measuring just compensation following a fairly conducted tax sale at an auction price, not the power. Oh wow, this is the one that was from the other day where there was a tax lien sale and they lowballed it just to sell the property and not get fair market value because it was supposed to compensate the homeowners, the former homeowners, after they lose their house, right? And then there's another 6-3 ruling holding that federal immigration law does not require a border officer to have clear and convincing evidence that a lawful permanent resident is committing a crime involving moral turpitude before declining to admit that person into the country. Thomas wrote the majority. So this is about if you're a non-citizen that's got permanent, like an I-551 holder, okay? Go back and look up on SCOTUS blog, right? SCOTUS blog chat room opens up 8:30 Central. All right. So we'll get to the rest of this. It's already 6:56. Man, that goes way too fast. So some current events going on here tonight in Gatesville at 6 p.m. at Rancher Steakhouse in Gatesville. It's Pints and Politics for Gatesville, right? Hosted by none other than Chip Howell. I'll be there. Let's do this, have some fun, get some good food, right? Then the next one is day after tomorrow, Saturday morning at 11 a.m., Coryell County Republican Women. They're going to meet at 11 a.m. at the feed mill, and they're going to have a speaker about transparency and data centers, and her name is Caitlin Ross. And you can get food there if you want to come visit. Visitors are welcome. It's a Republican event, right? At 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 27th, for Coryell County Republican Women. All right, next is for Monday on the 27th. I don't have a placard for it. They have the 29th at 6 p.m. in Harker Heights at Papa's Cafe. That's at Miller's Crossing. West Side Conservative Coalition is meeting. It's our monthly meeting, and then you can get food there too if you want. And that'll open up a special time because it normally closes at 2 p.m. All right. And then the final one is Tuesday, the 30th of June, is the Coryell County Republican Party organizational meeting, which is required by law that within 45 days after the term of the office for the party chair begins. So we have all the way up to the 29th of July, but we're doing it Tuesday. Bell County, they had theirs 2 days ago, right, on Tuesday night. But yeah, so we're going to elect officers for the executive board, and then all of us on the CEC, the precinct chairs, and the party chair, Norm Mitchell, gets sworn in, and then we go over and approve our bylaws. All right. So, and all Republicans are welcome. All right. So, in a nutshell, we made through some of what I needed to do. All right. So I'm going to initiate the raid at 6:59. I will see y'all in an hour for the JP8 report. Okay. I hope y'all get some chow down your throat, have some fun, pray for these people in Venezuela. Okay. And I'll see y'all in about an hour. So here we go. I'm going to initiate the raid. There we go. I'll catch you on the flip side. I am out. Have a good morning.